coming in just now. Former NSA of Pakistan has just admitted that 26/11 attack carried in India was the work of terror groups working out of Pakistan. This is the first major admission that the terror group worked out of Pakistan. This is former NSA of Pakistan, Ali Durrani. Here's a look at what he had to say. Take a look.
More than many times, Pakistan has been blamed for supporting terrorism, which was done today also. On the other hand, Pakistan continues to suffer more than anybody else at the hands of foreign and domestic terror.
All right, that's Ali Durrani, a former NSA of Pakistan, saying the Pakistan-based terror groups carried out the attacks 26/11, and he also says they've been blamed for harboring terrorists for a while now by not just India but others as well. He's a former Pakistani National Security Agency head, former NSA of Pakistan, Ali Durrani, saying 26/11 attacks are a case of classic trans-border terror and not really shying away from the words. This is a big admission as far as the former Pakistan NSA is concerned, saying that terror did emanate from Pakistan. In the case of 26/11, it was a classic case of trans-border terror. We try and get more reactions on this as well from not just from the MEA but also from other avenues. This is a big admission as far as the relationship between the two countries is concerned, which soured completely over 26/11. And India has sent dossier after dossier full of information and evidence about the involvement of Pakistan assets, in fact, state assets, establishment assets, as well as black ops in the execution of the 26/11 attack. But of course, Pakistan officially has kept denying it. But right now, former Pakistan NSA Ali Durrani is saying and labeling 26/11 attacks as a classic case of trans-border terror, which emanated from Pakistan, was executed from a control in Pakistan. Let's go around to General G.D. Bakshi joining us now. General Bakshi, former Pakistani NSA, clearly calling 26/11 a classic case of trans-border terror. One of the biggest admissions we've seen from any establishment man till date.
Yes, indeed. I'm glad the Pakistanis have been forced into this cul-de-sac. They had little option. How long can, you can fool some of the people all the time, all the people some of the time, but you cannot, as Lincoln said, fool all the people all the time. Pakistan is now hoist with its own petard. The simple fact is that it is Pakistani deep state which, raised, trained, financed, armed, inducted the 26/11 mass murderers and, controlled them minute by minute via the agency of satellite telephone. All this hogwash about, non-state actors working autonomously in Pakistan, independent of the state, is pure hogwash. It fools no one. And the pity is when we try and promote the Pakistani narrative just to get out of the dilemma of having then to respond and take military action against Pakistani state, which is killing our citizens ceaselessly, endlessly. So I'm glad this man has been forced into this admission. It is hardly an admission. It is a matter of fact. It is the ground reality. It is the truth which Pakistan has been trying to obfuscate for so long.
So clearly now that they have no takers as far as their own story is concerned. Many insiders have come out and said that assets like Hafiz Saeed and others of that persuasion are assets of the Pakistani establishment and the intelligence agencies as well. So more and more people or insiders coming out and saying that, admitting this on the world stage, could only perhaps give more hope that Pakistan realizes its folly. That, of course, is a long shot.
Well, it is a civilian national security advisor who is saying this. It's still a far cry from the Pakistani army and ISI adopting this. I mean, they have cared very little for what the Pakistani prime ministers have said. They have bumped off their lady prime minister. So I am not too sure whether we should start celebrating. Because we also in India have the painful habit of clutching at every straw that we sense in the Pakistani wind, and clutch at straws pathetically. so that somehow we will not have to fight or take action against Pakistan. We will be spared those pains, and, you know, by American influence, by Trump's pressure, we will achieve what we could not achieve. This is pathetic. India is a country of 1.3 billion people. If it cannot make Pakistan behave like a normal nation state, I mean, it's no kudos to us. It's pathetic that we have to
how should
go
the
around
MEA now
comparing
try and seize on this, General Bakshi? We, of course, have had admissions, or not one of this magnitude. He, of course, like you mentioned, is a civilian NSA, but an NSA nonetheless, and calling the 26/11 attack a classic case of trans-border terrorism, also admitting that it emanated and was executed in Pakistan. That's worth some serious diplomatic push here.
After all that I'd say is there is one critical difference in the 26/11 case. 5 American citizens were killed. And though we accept with equanimity the loss of 160 Indians, the Americans won't take it lying down, especially not under Donald Trump. That is why they have put Pakistan under pressure. And it is the American pressure which is now showing. I'm sorry, we have just been bleating painfully and trying to send dossiers by the kiloton to the Pakistani courts in the fond hope that they will take action against their own military-sponsored, terror agents. Yeah, I mean, which was chimerical at the best of times. It was pathetic that we hoped for such an outcome, just so that we wouldn't have to do something across the border.
All right, that was Major General G.D. Bakshi with his thoughts on what Ali Durrani has said during a seminar, I would assume, and he has, of course, called 26/11 classic case of trans-border terrorism emanating out of Pakistan. He mentioned that. We'll listen into one more time what he had to say exactly. Let's roll that soundbite.
More than many times, Pakistan has been blamed for supporting terrorism, which was done today also. On the other hand, Pakistan continues to suffer more than anybody else at the hands of foreign and domestic terrorists. Many times
that at the end, saying that nobody else suffers more than Pakistan itself at the hands of terror. So kind of equating trans-border terror there, but also admitting that yes, there has been, of course, not just allegations, but also repeated allegations and evidence enough to suggest that Pakistani soil is used for terror activities against other countries as well. More inputs now coming in just a bit.